All right, everybody. So the winning hits just keep coming for Trump all the way around. Breaking. Florida judge just dismissed his classified documents case, which you guys are acting all kinds of shocked over. And I told you guys, along many, many other people have told you that was going to happen. It was a no-brainer from jump, but you guys just continue to parrot and parrot and parrot what you saw on the television, what you saw on the short reels, on social media. You don't ever listen to reason. You don't listen to people that have the ability to think. So there's that. And definitely, I can tell you this right now. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in the election as far as whether or not we're actually going to have an election like we know it. But I can tell you this. Biden is not going back to the White House. He is not going to be reelected. And I'm going to tell you why. America is a very unique country. Okay, we're strongly unique in terms of other countries. America loves a hero. They love the story of a guy that had fallen and got back up. Well, that's what you saw the other day. That's exactly what you saw. That's what millions and millions, what the entire world saw. People love a hero. It's an American microcosm. So just be prepared to say President Trump, because he's going back to the White House one way or the other. Now, if he doesn't go back to the White House, maybe he'll say, fuck the White House. Fuck that piece of shit. Start running shit from his resorts. Who knows? He could run it from a prison cell. It doesn't matter. One thing is for certain, no matter where he runs it from, he will do an infinitely times better job than Joe Biden could ever think about doing. And we've already seen it. Now, the left is on social media. Not only are they championing the fucking shooter, like the idiots that they are, but they're still talking about why you want to vote for a dictator, all this, that, and another. Can you give me one example, just like one example of anything that Trump did while in office, one example of him being an authoritarian dictator? Because I can give you 20 examples of how you guys are the authoritarian dictators. And we also know now it can't be hidden. It can't be re-edited. It can't be put out there any different than what it is. We know who the extremists are. It's not MAGA. It's not Republicans. Sure, you got some rhino assholes in there, and they're no better than Democrats or neo-libs, but just the same, we know who the extremists are, and we know who they're not. Now, I'm sure that jerks a knot in your little buttholes, but hey, it is what it is. Plain and simple. We tried to tell you. You don't listen. None of you ever listen. You act surprised when shit like this happens. You're like, oh, whatever. But let's talk about accountability for a second. You see, I don't blame people that vote for Joe Biden because that's what they've been told they have to do. They let celebrities tell them how to vote. They let crooked politicians tell them how to vote. Promises after promises are made and never been delivered. And yet somehow they still get the votes. You got people over here regurgitating mainstream media talking points claiming they don't watch television. Well, I call bullshit on that because you all say the same thing. All of you do. There's not an original thought one with you guys. Occasionally you'll get a very crafty, somewhat witty lie. But as soon as you disprove it, oh, you're the Nazi, you're the bigot, you're the racist, you're the woman-hating. What is a woman, by the way? That's why I was really kind of hoping that the rumor that Hillary Clinton taking over and debating Donald Trump, I really thought that was going to be a thing. Because in the 2016, you know how she was talking about his abuse to women and all this, that, and another? If I were Trump, I would have looked her straight in the face and said, what is a woman? That right there would have shut the whole thing down. But we need to get back to this accountability thing. You see, I don't blame people that vote for Joe. I don't blame people that are socialist. You know, these people, by and large, have a decent heart. They don't mind the increase of taxation because they feel like that money's going to go to people that need it, veterans and so forth. They're wrong, but their hearts are in the right place at least. And then you get the other people that call you fascist. You're the fascist. But they're the ones that supported lockdowns. They're the ones that supported the mandatory clot shot. Not only did they support it, but they also stood right behind getting fired from your job if you refused it. They're for this so-called hate speech that doesn't exist. They're for internet censorship, cancel culture, all the things that make a fascist, all the things that make someone authoritarian. Trump never did that. You know another characteristic of a fascist authoritarian dictator? How about this? Standing up on a podium and calling half the country the problem. Did Trump do that? No, he didn't do that. He never told anyone, that Biden voters are the problem. Biden did. He got up there and called over half the country the problem. MAGA voters, Republicans, blah, blah, blah. He did it twice during the debate, if you want to call that a debate. So who's accountable? Who's going to be held accountable for the radicals, the people that become radicalized and want to take shots at a president, your future president, whether you like it or not? You don't have to like the man. You can hate him. It's not about the man. It's about the policies. We've already had 4 years of Trump. It's really funny that you guys will say things like, oh, my God, like, in 2016, Hillary Clinton said that everything that is happening right now with the wars, with the border, with the drugs, with the, among other bullshit wedge issues that nobody cares about. Oh, women getting sent back 100 years. Just all kinds of things. That's happening right now under this administration. Didn't happen under Trump. Kind of funny how that works, isn't it? Well, you guys didn't just count your blessings. You didn't have to go through that under Trump. We didn't have all the problems that we have right now under Trump. So, and another thing, when you guys are putting your little graphs and shit up, first of all, fuck your facts, okay? I don't care what basement-dwelling blogger you copied and pasted that bullshit from. You're going to have to convince people. You're going to have to convince over half the country not to believe their lying eyes. You can't say, oh, inflation, is doing good. There's no such thing as good inflation, number one. Oh, the economy's great. No, it's not. Well, according to these bar graphs here, if you look at the time, Trump, man, fuck yourself. You could start right here. You're not going to convince me. I've been wide awake this whole time. I have witnessed food prices go up, rent go up, insurance go up, cost of food go up, gas go up, an immigration problem. We've got crime. We've got drugs. We've got all these problems happening under your man's watch. And he's too busy eating ice cream cones and having his ass wiped to even give a shit. Hell, he has enough problems staying awake. Why would you want to vote for this guy? Let's see who I'm going to vote for. The man that the deep state hates, the media hates, the radical left hates, the man who dodges bullets, or am I going to vote for the guy who dodges questions, cognitive tests, sandbags, and stares? It should be a no-brainer, but apparently it isn't. And you call us the violent ones. You refer immediately to the so-called insurrection that never happened. You guys are the ones that started the violence. You guys are the ones that carried out the violence. You are the one that condoned violence. And Joe's little, man, violence has no place in America. Well, it's about damn time he said something about it, because the rest of the time he's been condoning it. His entire party has been condoning division. When he got up there and called over half the country the problem, he just separated everybody from him and his cabinet and his followers. You can't make this shit up. It's out there. You want to argue about it? Let's argue about it. But by God, articulate yourself well. Please, for the love of God. And can you do it without saying cult member? Can we try that out? We have seen it time and time again. You guys calling for and advocating for violence. Here, just see for yourself.
They asked me, would I like to debate this gentleman? And I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Other way. That's it right there.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
When they go low, we kick them.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men.
I told Jeb Bush after that debate that I thought he should have punched him in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Dressed to look like President Donald Trump gets stabbed to death. I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
The domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution.
Now, getting back to people being radicalized, this so-called shooter, there's different things about him. You got one group of people said, oh, he was a happy-go-lucky type of guy, like they always try to say when a guy gets his head blown off for trying to shoot a president. Then the other half said, hey, he was kind of a loner. He was a registered Republican, which now they're trying to make that point. Well, he was a registered Republican. It wasn't an LGBT. Well, other times it was. Not necessarily pot shotting the president, but shooting up kids in a small school. But I guess that doesn't matter, does it? But what would radicalize someone to want to do something like that? I don't know. Maybe the constant lie of Trump being a dictator, Trump being authoritarian, Trump being a threat to this so-called democracy that we don't live in. And he's coming after you. He's coming after the women. He's coming. Shut the fuck up.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
If reelected, he will be a dictator on day one.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution.
And I will, quote, terminate the United States Constitution.
Authoritarianism and totalitarianism.
A person who's telling them, I'm going to be a dictator.
Well, Hitler was duly elected. That's right. Right?
Autocracy and dictatorship.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler.
Who I got to vote for to keep Hitler out the White House.
There has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump.
He's an existential threat to democracy.
I own it all. I am a dictator.
Like acts committed by a dictator, or even says he will be one.
I mean, that is Nazi imagery.
So dictatorial, authoritarian tendencies.
He wants to build camps for millions of people.
He will be a dictator on day one.
That's all you need to see. That's all you need to see. The truth is coming out whether you like it or not. There's nowhere near the number you need to make that go away. Hell, there's not even a number you could grasp that can make that go away. You guys think you're the majority. You're not. You're not even close. In fact, you guys lost a lot of support. They may not be jumping straight to Donald Trump, but they're not voting for Biden. A lot of people I'm hearing, this is, well, I'm just going to sit this one out. I'm undecided. I don't know how you could possibly be undecided, but there's only one way to vote. Like I said in the previous video, there's only one way to vote. And again, I don't know what this election is going to be like. Democrats are so freaking, the left, they're so freaking desperate. They don't want to lose the power. That, and they know what's coming for them. We might just go to war sooner than you think.